everybody. I have a really special surprise for you today. I was invited to help out with a sewing birthday party, and it's going to be today in just about an hour and a half, and I am so excited. My little girl Vivian is having her birthday party out in Issaquah, and she is inviting 25 of her favorite friends to come to the party and sew up American Girl doll dresses, and then afterwards they're going to have a huge fashion show. So I was really excited about obviously being a part of it, and it's going to be really fabulous. But I was trying to think of what would be a really good gift to give to her and all of her friends so that afterwards they keep sewing. And I thought, what better than a completely original, inspired video that is, dedicated towards her doll Rose and all of the other little American Girl dolls that are going to be at the party with them. So today we are going to be making American Girl doll patchwork blankets. So as you can see, I have all of my squares already laid out, and what I gave them is 7 by 7 inch squares, and I did 9 of them. So it just makes a nice little sweet patchwork, very simple project for you to tackle on an afternoon with your child, or if your child's a little bit more advanced, they could even do it on their own. So I'm going to show you how to assemble it today, and this is a warning now to all of the parents who might be sewing with their kids. This is a project that's not intended to be perfect. I didn't even pull out an iron to seam or press or anything like that. So I want you to let go of the need for things to be exact the way that they might be with other sewing projects. This is really about just having fun and letting your child be super creative and have a good time. So let's get started. Okay, so all the squares are on the table, and the way that you assemble a patchwork of any kind is when you lay it out. I am going to take my first square, and you can see there's a pretty side and a not so pretty side. I want the pretty side to touch the other pretty side, and I know that I want to sew along this edge. Okay, so pretty side to pretty side. I should see not so pretty sides on both sides as they're touching one another. And then I'm going to come on over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to pop my fabric in. And the biggest thing is I want the edge of my fabric to be parallel to the edge of the presser foot. I'm going to lower my presser foot and go ahead and sew straight on down. No need to backstitch at this point. Hit my sweet spot button, bring it up, and there we go. Fabulous. And the reason we do it that way is the seam is on the back side, so you can't even see it. So it looks nice and cleaned up and really pretty and ready to go. So now I'm going to go and hug it up next to my other one, pair it up next to my other one, and then again the pretty sides touch. And I'm paying really close attention to which line I want to sew. So this time I'm going to sew these two sides together on this side and sew it on down. We have a group of bikers going by. I don't know if you guys could hear that. They just keep going and going and going. It's one of the best parts about being down on Alki. There's all sorts of characters. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to sew on down. Remember, you're going to make sure that it stays parallel with the edge of the presser foot. All the way down. Okay. And look at that. My first row is done. So I want to get you a little bit closer up personal and so that you can actually see what's really going on, and I will meet you here in just a sec. Okay, so here we are. Here's my 3 squares for my final row, and like I said, I wanted to get you guys close so that if you had any questions, you'd be able to see what I was totally talking about. So I want to, again, turn the first square towards the second square and get it right next to it, pretty sides touching, okay? Then I'm going to pop it in, and this is the important part. I want you to see exactly what I'm talking about. You want the edge of this fabric to be parallel with the edge of the presser foot as you sew it on down, just like this. Let's get that. It's ready to go. See how it stays in alignment with the edge of that presser foot? That's exactly what we want. All the way down. And that's my sweet spot button for my sewing machine. Lift the presser foot and bring it out. And look at that, no seams are showing. All right, now I'm just going to attach the final one. Okay, so I have all of my rows sewn, and now it's time to assemble them row to row. So you'll notice that I have a bunch of dangling threads. We want to make sure to cut all of those off before we sew row to row. Yes, I'm throwing all my excess threads on the ground, but it is only because this is my little workshop, and I know that if I do it, I have to clean it up. But if your mom is the one that has to clean the house, make sure to make a little pile so she doesn't get mad and she'll want to sew with you again, okay? All right, so normally what we would do is we'd get out an iron and we'd press these firm, but today we're not gonna be that uptight. What I want you to do is, there's something called finger pressing, and what you can do is open up your seams and push all the way down, and it's easier to do when you're doing it on a flat surface, but it basically just keeps them ready to go. You can also, if you don't want to open up the seams, you can press them off to the side, so it's totally your choice. But we're just going to do a little light finger pressing, okay? Just get them kind of firmly pushed down on all of them. Look, so go ahead and press those down. Nothing fancy. We're not even going to worry about which way we're pressing them, because again, it's an American Girl doll blanket. It's not a fancy heirloom blanket. All right, so we're pressed down. Now it's exactly the same thing. When we put rows to rows, we want those pretty sides touching one another. So I'm going to take my first pretty row and my second pretty row. Ooh, I forgot to cut that thread. Whoopsie. Put those sides together, get them to line up about as best as you can. Not any big deal. And run it down through. Same exact thing, you guys. We're gonna keep our edge lined up with the edge of the presser foot. Oh, don't go this fast if you're a kid. Only adults should go this fast. And sometimes even adults shouldn't go this fast. Okay, and sweet spot. And let me show you what we got. Look at that! Just one more to assemble and we'll be good to go. So I'll meet you back here once I'm done with that. All right, how fabulous is this? My patchwork front is done. And I've cleaned up all the edges and all of the little, frays and threads. So now it's time to attach the backing, sew around, and then flip it inside out. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so we're looking at my patchwork front right now. And here is my fleece backing that we're going to be using. So what I want to do is, and there actually is a pretty side and a not so pretty side to fleece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the pretty sides touching one another again. And I'm just going to flatten that out. Now, this might be a time to have your parents help you, but I'm going to use some pins, and I am going to just keep everything in place. Now you can see it's not perfectly lined up, and I am not going to worry about that at all, because at the end, if you want to, you can trim that up. But when we're having fun, we can save the fussy stuff for the end, don't you think? All right, so the one thing I want to tell you is, because we're doing it this way, we are going to need to leave an opening so that we can pull the quilt inside out. So this is important. And one way that I like to do that is I'll take my favorite color pins, and I will keep them, maybe up here. And that will be my start and stop point. I'll start at one pink and I'll end at the other. And then I use only other colored pins throughout to keep them stabilized. So that's just my own little trick. I got all sorts of tricks up my sleeves. You guys, you have no idea. Let's see if I'll have to pull out any of those tricks today at Vivian's party. All right, so now we are going to flip it this way, because fleece does better where underneath, okay? Because there's those little feed dogs that are catching, and it's really, really helpful. I probably should have put my pins in the other way. Rookie mistake, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew around the perimeter, but remember, I'm leaving myself an opening right here between the pink and the pink so I can put my hands in and pull it out. So do not forget to do that. All right, start with my pink pin, and I'm going to recommend that you give yourself even more of a margin, so maybe put your fabric out past the presser foot when you're sewing this one. And this is where you get to finally use your back stitch button. So I'm going to take that pin out because we don't ever go over pins. And we're going to go ahead and sew about 3 to 5 stitches, and then we're going to back up 3 to 5 stitches. We do that at the beginning and at the end of the blanket. So let's go ahead and sew on down. Now what happens when we get to the corner is we want to stop and we want to make sure our needle is down. We lift our presser foot and we turn the fabric. Drop it and sew all the way to the edge. We're going to do this all the way around, and then we are going to stop at the other pink pin, and when we get to that point we are going to back stitch again, and then we'll turn our blanket inside out. So the time has finally come and we get to reveal our little American Girl doll blanket, or if you have a stuffed animal, that works too. So you've got your little opening that you left open, and my hand's kind of small too, so it actually fits in. What you want to do is take your hand, bring it in, and gently pull out the insides. It's kind of like turning your clothes inside out, or right side out. And then poke out those little corners because you want your corners to look real good. Oh, I'm loving this. Oh, how cute is that? We are done. Well, almost done. We have to close up our little opening at the top, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But can we talk about how cute this is for a second? I mean, that is adorable. And I know that my daughter, I made this and I'm going to give it to her. My daughter's little American Girl doll, Avery, is going to keep warm and cozy this winter. Okay, so to close up the little opening that we have, what you're going to want to do is just really gently turn in. If you want to use pins, you totally can, but you're going to turn in those frayed edges. And this might be a time where you want your parents to help you out if you're doing this project on your own. We are going to pop our fabric in to the sewing machine and just do a nice little stitch to close it up. So you definitely want to use your back stitch button on this one, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. And you know what? I don't ever worry about being able to see this little closure stitch. You could do something decorative if you wanted to. That might be a fun way to use your decorative stitches. But again, I keep saying it, it's just a doll blanket, so we can have a little bit more freedom in letting stitches show and not being absolutely perfect. Okay, so let's take a peek. Oh, clean up all my strings. It is done! Yay! So we're finally done with our American Girl doll blanket, and I've got to hit the road. I've got 25 kids to teach how to sew and have fun with. And I just want to say a very, very special thank you to Vivian and her mom Alicia for inviting me to be part of her special day. I am truly honored. So thank you so much. And if you weren't invited to Vivian's party and you want to have a party of your own, please feel free to email us or call us. I'll put the information in the link below. We would love to be part of your special day as well. So thank you very much. I hope you got a lot out of this tutorial, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day. Bye.